We have someone who has been helping his clients with workflow optimization, but he hasn't just been doing that. He's been eating his own dog food. Please welcome to the stage, Jared Langguth.
Excuse the moon boot. I still want to do it. Hey everybody, I am excited to be here. Going to do a quick show of hands. I know we talked about it a bit this morning, but who has a large language model at work? One of those, a lot of people. Leave your hand up if you actually feel more productive because of it. Oh, more went up. Exciting. Excellent. Okay, let's hope you can take away a few simple things from me today. So originally, this talk was going to be about how we've helped our clients agentify processes, but we thought it might be better if we went through our story, the grittier story of how we've got the skeptics, the busy people, the non-technical people, to be productive with AI. Now, to give a bit of a background, we have had manual process flows or workflows for our delivery squads. There are 3 disciplines in there. We'd tried to make those get used by the staff when they were doing a task and tried to get them to review them after. They didn't. They went straight to habit and just went with what they felt was right. So we couldn't get the value out of it. We spent quite a lot of time making these process flows, but the distance between the document of how to do it and where the people worked was too big, and they wouldn't follow. So we'll come back to the workflows. The custom GPTs came out, the Notebook LM came out, and we thought that could be cool. We could give our process flows to that, and maybe that we could answer questions about the process flow. Still, distance between where that happens and where the human works. Now I'm going to tell a few stories about some of our people and how we got them over the line. So Rima is one of our management consultants. She leads the chapter. They do a lot of workshopping with people, a lot of in-person, a lot of pulling information together through workshops. So she's not a technical person. She struggled when we rolled out Gemini, because we're a Google shop, to find a business use case for her. She couldn't see one. So we asked her what she's doing in her personal life. Now, Rima is an avid adventurer. She loves ice climbing, cross-country skiing, marathon running, anything that moves. And so we asked her what's going on at the moment. She said, I'm looking for a new pair of running shoes. We thought, great. Perfect reason to use the Gemini deep research feature. For those who don't know, deep research will search 40 to 80 websites for you, looking for a report to build you. She used it, asked a similar question to what's showing now, and then this report spat out. It's a long report. It's going to scroll while I talk. But it goes into the detail of shoes, compounds used, durability, the price of them, the ones that are available, where you can buy them. And she found this really helpful. She knows a lot about shoes, but this was helpful for her. Now, this didn't move our company along to be more productive, but it did open up Rima's excitement of using the deep research tool, and now she does use it to research different ways of doing workshops and talking to people. I'm going to go through these 3 agentic workflows we did in a little bit, not too much detail, but before I do, I just want to talk about the process that we use with ourselves and with clients to select the right workflow or process to agentify. We call it the classify, prioritize, and deconstruct. So to classify, we get ourselves or our customer to workshop all the different workflows they have on a page for the area they're looking at. We then classify them as simple or complex to agentify, and some of them will be not a candidate. We do this so that in the next step, when we take them to prioritize, we can use group voting to vote on the single, simple, or complex one that we can deconstruct and then look to validate. For us, group voting is important. It's no use the manager saying, do that one. You haven't got buy-in, so we get everyone to vote, and then everyone's emotionally interested in doing the agentification. Deconstruct is where we pull apart that simple and complex workflow into the steps that are used to make it. Looking at the inputs to that process, so input might be a file or report that someone else has made or an email that you receive. Then we look at the tools that might be used to do this step. It might be that you need to connect to Outlook. The tool would be Outlook. We then look at the outputs. What does that step need to actually create so that the next step can do something? We go through all the steps of the process, doing the inputs, outputs, and tools, and that gives us a blueprint for what we could make with an agent or with agents. It really does show where the gnarly steps are going to be before you get to it. So we don't do huge workshops everywhere, but we have done it at scale, and we have done it with small customers to great success. Okay, let's talk about the first one, leads. We're an agency. We like leads. We like them to appear. So we thought, well, what can we do to make more leads available to us using a agentic process? At the time, it was roughly a year ago, we looked at a system from Australia. Name's not relevant, but it runs a cloud-based system. We wanted something to be able to look at the NZXX website for us, look at the company announcements that come out from every company, read them, extract the company and people from those announcements, research them on LinkedIn. You can look at the company, you can look at what the company's posting about, you can then search the internet for information about them, and come back with a report on, is this a good lead for our company or not? So we did that. And then it turns up with a message for us asking a simple question. Would you like to add those leads to HubSpot? We use HubSpot as our CRM, our relationship management system. It'll then create the deal in HubSpot. It'll attach the contact. It'll attach the company and all the notes that it found when it's doing research, getting the deal ready for us to look at. So for us, that was a huge time saving and a great first step into automating a process flow. The next process I'm going to look at is how we used HubSpot in a different way too. So we have seen through our work over the last year that it appears we're all going to be working in a single user interface at one point with our agents or agents in it. I don't think we're going to be going to the HubSpot website and we're going to be going to the other systems we use, websites, and having to traverse those and log into them and find the page you want to go to and find the menu to go to. We're just going to talk to our single interface, and it's going to do that for us. We thought we would look into how we can make that work. Now, we were using Cursor at the time. Dani talked about Cursor. It's more of a developer interface, but it has the ability to do things. You can find these days Claude Cowork as an example. It's more business-facing, but it does the same thing. It's your agent with you, interfacing with the tools you want to use. So we pulled off the shelf a HubSpot MCP server or package. I won't go into the details, but it's a way for your application to talk to HubSpot. We wanted to know if we could ask it tools like, what deals are in closing at the moment? Who's the main contact for Heb? Who is the main contact for Heb? They're here. No? What upcoming tasks do I have to do this week? So we wanted to be able to make that easy rather than having to navigate to it. But in our testing, not only could we ask those questions and get an answer, when one day I asked it to update the main contact for Chorus, it came back and said, oh, hey, by the way, do you know there are 2 entries in HubSpot for Chorus? Would you like to merge them? All I had to say was yes. So not only could we use HubSpot faster, the agent is an assistant at the side prompting me to do even more things that I didn't know I needed to do. Let's move on to finance. So we're a smallish company. We do like to know if our invoices are being paid. We do like to know where our money is being spent. And we do like to keep our financial metrics up to date. We've had metrics for a while. We're a data company, but they were manually updated, and we didn't always get around to doing it straight away. We didn't have a way to look at transactions. I did look at Xero. It seemed clunky at the time. It was taking us too long to do, so we decided we'd write our own thing. So we wrote our own MCP package to do these things for us. I'll take you through it quickly. So our month end, it'll read our list of invoices that need to be checked if they were paid. It'll then get all of our transactions from ASB. We'll then categorize them all using groupings or categories that we suggested. And not only Does the agent follow our rules? It'll come back and let me know when something isn't quite right as well in the categories and suggest a new one. It'll then get the salary data. We use iPayroll, gets the salary data, and then it runs the month end for us, updating our stats for us. So it saves a lot of time. All we have to do at the end of the month is say, can you run month end, please? And it runs through the 5-step process, stopping at the human in the loop steps for me to review that it's done the transactions correctly. Now, earlier, or towards the end of last year, Anthropic released something called Agent Skills. Skills are a way for your agent to be way more efficient at doing the steps that you want it to do. Previously, we used to write these very long system prompts. We thought we were super clever, using all these right words, and it got what we wanted. Eventually, you'll find out the prompt will get so long that the agent will get confused. Much like when I talk to my father, I ask him 3 questions, he's probably only going to answer one of them. So we really have to pay attention with the context we give to agents if you want them to be effective. Agent Skills is like a filing cabinet. You can give, as an example, let's say we give this agent 2 skills. One to how to use my email, one to how to find or tell me about my leads. It knows that it has these skills, but it does not know how to do them yet. So if I ask it a question of, what leads do I have? It's going to open the drawer, the folder, about leads. It's going to read all about how I like to gather leads, any formatting I want for output, and it's going to read those, and it's going to follow that exactly. It didn't need to know how to do emails, because I didn't ask it about it. So the less information, the less context you give an agent, the more likely it is it's going to give you what you want. Okay, here's another story about 2 of our employees, Nika and Sam. Nika is another management consultant. She's great with people. She's great at organizing a roadmap for a team. She's awesome at making them get the work done, checking that it has been delivered, and then talking to the business about what we're doing. Sam is our chapter lead for data experience. They look after the designing and creating of dashboards and data products. They look after our natural language querying. We gave them a task to do, to create a marketing campaign. Neither of them work in marketing technology. We asked them to make a meta campaign generator. These are 3 examples. My favorite is the one on the right. I don't think Copilot is going to solve your problem. The process we asked them to do, or a process they came up with, they use skills. They use publicly available marketing skills, which we did vet, which we did check for malware. But they used those to do a process of creating the audience we need for this campaign, using the words we have, how we talk about ourselves and market, to create words for this campaign, to create a selection of imagery using the way that we do images for X is Y to do the campaign, and then to actually interface with LinkedIn or Meta to create the campaign. So what impressed us, they used a product called Anti-Gravity, which is Google's version of Cowork, which is quite frankly not very good. But however, it was bundled in our Google subscription, so we tried it. In less than 2 weeks, neither of them have done marketing before, had made this pipeline from start to finish. It was really quite impressive. It was really quite a complex workflow that they made simple because of the use of skills. Recently, a gentleman by the name of Andre Karpathy, he used to be at OpenAI. He then ran AI at Tesla. He's now talking as a job. He released his thoughts about a wiki for your agent. So think about Wikipedia, a store of information, lots of pages linked to each other. The idea here is your agent also has its own wiki that it can help you make. If you feed it information about your process, if you feed it information about your company, it will then use that in all the tasks it does. This really closed the loop for us on our workflows, our process flows. Now we could finally put the information about how we want people to do tasks in a place where our people are working. Our people are agent first. The human doesn't do the work first, the agent does the work first, they review it. We not only put our process flows in, we put all of our onboarding information in. Company history, case studies, our blogs from our website, Our brand details are the colors and how we do design. The services we currently offer to everybody. The internal tools we get to use and how we use them and why. And how we do agile delivery. So now, when they go to ask a question about any of those topics, the agent can look in its wiki first, find relevant information, and help them do that task. Now, you may be wondering how long it took to make that wiki. It wasn't months, it wasn't weeks, it was one day. One day to make the wiki, and that's because there's a skill for the agent to make the wiki for you. You feed it documents, it puts them together in a way that it feels like storing them, and links all the documents so that you can then use them. It will not store them in a way that a human will read them easily. It's much like, I think, Amazon's marketplaces. They order all their products for the robots to find, not for the humans to find. Same thing here. The thing that I like about it the most is that it's one brain now we can give to all our employees to do things in the same way. Now, let's move along to Ray, another employee at XSY, and we'll pull all those concepts together. So Ray is a data engineering chapter lead. He's been at client site for months, quite busy, and hadn't had time to learn too much about the skills and the wiki. So about a month ago, we sat down together, and over 2 hours, we created a new wiki for the client he was working at. We created skills for the tools he's using. He was using Snowflake, Coalesce, and Jira. One's a database tool, one moves data through steps of a database, and the other is for work management. We added a data engineering process flow skill over the top of these tool skills so that the agent would know the correct steps to take when we do data engineering. Now, to start off, we asked the agent to traverse the client's data warehouse, looking for patterns about how they do data engineering, looking for naming conventions and standards, anything that contradicted each other, added that to the wiki, so that when we ask the agent to do something, it already knows how the client does data engineering. Let me take you through the data engineering process flow, which is reasonably technical, but it will give you an understanding of the multiple steps an agent can do and can do effectively. The first step will be that the agent looks up the ticket to work on. They use Jira, so Jira have names like ticket 23. It'll go and read the ticket. It'll then come back and create, if they aren't already there, acceptance criteria. And these are things that must be true to know that this bit of work is complete and ready to be signed off on. It'll then search around the data environment, looking for things applicable to this ticket. It'll then build a plan with Ray so that he can approve it. He can go back and forth on the plan. Can you change this? Can you change that? But it makes a plan for what it's going to do. It'll then do the work off at the side. It might take 20 minutes. It might take 30 minutes. But it'll go through and do the work. Once the execution agent's finished, it'll pass off to the reviewer sub-agent. This is commonly referred to as the Ralph loop. This is where one agent checks that another agent has actually done what it should have done. So it'll read the ticket and go, oh, you were supposed to do these 4 things. Have you actually done them? Or did you just make up the fact you did them? Agents sometimes forget about some of the things they should do. So by having the second agent, you're getting close to guaranteeing the work will be done. After that, it'll update the ticket, the Jira ticket, with an explanation of what it did. So there's an explanation of the execution and what the review did. The last and final step, which Ray added himself, was that after every ticket is complete, the information that the agent learned while doing the work is fed straight back into the wiki. So any bugs that it fixed, it knows the pattern to fix them again. So when the agent does the next bit of work, it reads that first, much like a human holds all information about their past work, and uses that to be more effective. Now, when we introduced this to Ray, he'd been working on a problem for the last 3 days. He hadn't resolved it yet. We gave it to the agent. It did the work in 1 hour. Like, there was a lot of work in there. It went through, and the outcome was perfect. It had done all the work. It had documented. It had made the pull request for the person human to review it. It's 2 days' work in 1 hour. And I know there's a lot of hyperbolic marketing speak about AI and how amazing it is, but this is witnessed and true. It's real, it's achievable, and not just by technical people, by all people in a digital process. Now, I was going to do a demo, but I'm 1 minute and 17 seconds from the end, so come and find me later if you want to see something. Let's just skip across. Here's some examples of some non-technical workflows that either we have helped do or could be done. The first one is annual general meeting minutes. There's a company who does that for body corporates. They were taking 3 hours on average for humans to do it. This process will take the agenda, it'll take the meeting minutes, and it'll make the official, it takes the meeting transcript and the agenda and makes the official meeting minutes. They wanted it done in their particular format because it's the product that they release, so it had to be done in a certain way. That went from a 3-hour process to 1 minute, and the output is pretty much the same every time. They were struggling with English as a second language for some people, and the output was very variable for them. Project gotchas. A lot of people here do projects. If you do projects and you do a review of a project, you should be recording your transcript of that review meeting, if not making notes from that meeting, and feeding that into a wiki for an agent. So when you do a new project, someone can ask, what do I need to know about this project from the past mistakes we've made? It can review all the past mistakes and give it to you on a platter. I know several people in construction who are not doing that, who wish the new people would look at the past mistakes. This enforces it because it's in front of you. Another example could just be you have multiple reports emailing you a status update every week. You could have an agent that takes those status updates, reads them for you, and puts you into a single format for you that you may pass on or you may read rather than you having to do it. Okay, the one big unlock for us that got our people over the line were AI sharing sessions. Every 2 weeks, everyone must attend, everyone must talk about what they've done with AI in the last 2 weeks. Now, not everyone's at the same place. Some of us are technical, some of us aren't, but everyone is forced to share what they have done. We talk about things we've done better, we talk about things that failed. It really has unlocked our AI journey for us, is getting together and talking about it. It's brought accountability, ownership, and honesty to our internal AI goals. Okay, I've talked about quite a lot in these 21 minutes that I've gone over. If you're going to take anything away, is it the skills to give your agent to go faster? Is it the wiki that's going to help you do processes uniformly? Is it going to be how you select the next process to agentify? You pair that with a rhythm of weekly sessions, you too can be more productive. Thank you.